You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. I'm Jen.
And I'm Megan, and we're two boss babes sharing our businesses and inspiring you along the way.
Today's episode, we are talking about new business owners, getting you motivated for starting a new business, and staying motivated when you start a new business. I feel like a lot of times we talk about people who have been in the business as long as we have, and we don't want to forget about the newbies coming into this amazing entrepreneurship life and all the things. And we're going to do a little catch up because last episode, Megan did a solo episode and it was so cute. You promoted the hell out of me and I just...
Oh, well.
I was listening to it. I texted her. I was like, I think I'm going to cry. It was so cute.
Not me getting what you were actually doing wrong, though. I thought you were working on the mompreneur event. I forgot that you were out and about with Devin.
Oh.
I was like, she's busy right now hosting another event, which you were in a way, but...
Yes. But
take it away.
I actually canceled that mompreneur event. I kind of want to dive in a little bit about that too, because I got some feedback about people. So, rewind. I hosted a mompreneur event, which is an event for moms running businesses. There were non-moms there. There were mostly, you did have to run somewhat of a business or at least work in a business setting to come to the event, because that was kind of the premise around it. Mm-hmm. But it was basically an event on inspiring women who are just juggling all the things and trying to do it all. And yes. And I did my first event. We had about 60 attendees. It was so amazing, so impactful, so motivating that I was so excited to host my second one. And fast forward, I feel like I did it a little bit too soon to each other. And I did not realize as a mom, I should have realized how insane the month of May is, because it's end of school for kids. You're trying to do all the things, and summer's starting, so you're starting to prep for summer, and the kids are going to be home soon, and all the things. So very long story short, I wasn't seeing the ticket sales that I really wanted in order to make it impactful for the speakers who I had. I had an amazing lineup of speakers who committed, who said yes, and I didn't want to let them down. And you could talk to two people, and if you're inspiring one of them, it is what it is. But I just didn't feel that they were going to get the impact that I wanted them to have on women. That was one. And two, financially, the venue costs a lot of money. The food costs a lot of money. Everyone's time costs a lot of money. So I saw that it was not going to be what I wanted it to be. Mm-hmm. So I canceled it. And that was a really hard decision, because you start to have this self-doubt of oh my God, what are people going to think about me? I'm putting on this event and now I'm canceling it, and people are going to think I can't do this anymore, and all the things that you could totally go down the rabbit hole of. And I did not let myself do that. I went on social media and I was full transparency. This is why I'm canceling. This is the reason, all the things. And so many. I got a few messages. I hate when people are I got so many comments. I got a few who were just kind of inspired by me just being transparent with it all. And I think that's important, because a lot of people aren't. Maybe you make up a lie of why you canceled. Maybe you, whatever it was. So I refunded some of the girls who bought tickets. Some of the girls are just save my ticket for the next time.
That's
I know
so
that
nice.
You're gonna put it on again, which I am, and it was all great. However, we did have two people show up to the event.
Oh no.
The day of it being quote unquote canceled, which I don't know where the confusion was. And they ended up showing up at night, which it was a daytime event. So yeah, it was very weird. But that was a little challenging, because you don't want to piss off people. Yeah. And I don't know if we fully pissed them off, but one did travel from New York and one traveled from New Haven. So they did kind of travel, but anyway, long story short, I am glad that I canceled, because it was not going to be what I wanted it to be to impact the people that would be in that room. So, you learn lessons with everything in life. So anyway, I wanted to kind of debrief about that, because I feel like it's important to share. Not everything is the silver lining, and you can't be discouraged for things that don't always happen how they're supposed to happen at the time. I know that I'm going to host another one. I know it's going to be amazing, and the timing just wasn't right for that one. So
elevate your photography business with Narrative Select. Focus more on creating and less on repetitive tasks like checking eyes, focus, or matching skin color tones. Say goodbye to slow software, load raw files in seconds, review images instantly, and export your selections to Lightroom in style with just one click. Call your photo shoots twice as fast using Narrative Select. Try Narrative Select plus Edit today with 1,000 free edits with the link below.
That was that. And then I've been just busy with getting things ready for season.
Yeah.
This was our busiest May to date, which was awesome.
Yeah.
We had two weddings already. Do we have 2 or 3? My brain is like so fried already, and it's the end of May right now. June is usually my busiest month.
Yeah.
May was crazy. June is even crazier. Slow down a little July and August, and then fall is just, nuts. And I'm super excited.
Yeah.
But I'm even more excited that, for example, this past weekend was Memorial Day weekend, and I have a family campground in New Hampshire, and this is one weekend that I try to go to the campground no matter what. And there was years in the past that I've been in business that I did not book events because I wanted to go to my family campground this weekend. And I didn't want to do that anymore with running the business. So I'm at a place where my team is amazing. They are crushing it. They are killing it. And my team worked a wedding. It was at Waveney Park in New Canaan.
Cool.
I know, my spa. I love that venue. And I'm actually a little bummed I wasn't there because I've never worked an event there. Besides, we host the big event there at the Carriage Barn, but this was like up in the mansion. And I would have loved to just like see it set up for a wedding. Because Devin and I did a styled shoot there, which was awesome. And I feel like that is kind of what sold the wedding because the bride saw the pictures from the content day. I had my satellite bar there. She used my satellite bar for the wedding. It wasn't the trailer. And she just did some things that were at the styled shoot that were also at the wedding.
That's so validating.
It really is. So, so that was fun.
That's awesome.
This weekend we have 2 weddings that I'm back behind the bar on one.
Woo!
Excited. I feel like I'm a little rusty, but it's like riding a bike. So
Yeah, I'm sure after the first drink you pour, you're like, all right, in it, ready.
I got this.
Yeah.
I do think I'm going to be sore after, though, because I forget what a 10-hour day is like.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Every wedding feels like I've run a marathon. Yeah. Because you just forget to eat, drink, sit down until all of a sudden you're eating dinner at the end, or you're on the way home, you're in the car, and then you're like, woof. I don't remember the last time I used the bathroom. The next day it's just, I'm a sore bunch of muscles.
Oh, and this is going to come out later, but we're actually surprising one of my really good friends with a spa day in New York City. When is this coming out? Not till Monday, I think, or whatever it is. But we'll have already done it because it's a surprise.
Nice.
Her family owns a limousine company in Norwalk, and Elite Limousine, shout out. And they were taking one of the buses there. We're going to the city.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Governor's Island, which I've never been. We're going to a spa there. I'm actually heading home early because they're like staying all day, and I'm just like, I can't do this. But I'm super, super excited about it. It's gonna be really fun. So that's
so fun. Yay! May's almost over. That's crazy. Oh my God. That is so crazy that it's Memorial Weekend has passed, and June 1st is on Monday, the day that this episode comes out. I'm pretty sure. So that's just
crazy.
Right? Or Sunday is June 1st? I don't know. But
Sunday's June
that's
1st,
crazy.
So it'll be the 2nd.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. May also this year is like absurdly busy. Just like different than past years. And I think we've talked about this in one of the past episodes. I don't know if it was like... because I haven't been married, so I don't know about all of the planning process of things. And I know that like Thursdays are cheaper, or like a winter wedding is cheaper. So I wonder if maybe like May versus June might have a price jump as well. I don't know, but me too for May. I think I'm pretty sure it was double digits. If it wasn't 10, it was like 11 or something like that. Weddings for May. Crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Between me second shooting for friends, my own, or elopements, because I had a couple elopements this month too. Just like, I was counting them all up because I was like writing stuff down on my calendar, and I was like, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. That number never ended. And I was like, crazy.
That's awesome.
Which is, amazing, but just also like comes with a level of stress to be like, can I do this? Am I good enough? All of the things. But this episode is to tell you that you are good enough. You can do this. And now we're going to dive into just a big motivational talk directed towards new prospective business owners, people who maybe are doing it as a side hustle or have had a dream that they've always wanted to try. And this episode is for you and for us to tell you that we were in your shoes at one point as well. And so has every other business owner ever. And we're here for you.
We had, I want to say, like, moments where we felt like we were starting again too, because we started adding things to our business.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like kind of something we could talk about too, where like you added video, I added second trailers. Like there was just things where it's like you're almost starting over again because it's new.
Yep.
It's not, you're getting out of your comfort zone again.
Exactly.
Something different and all the things. But I don't know if you remember this. I feel like you can kind of elaborate on it somehow. But maybe we talk about like what we felt like when we were first starting.
Ooh, yes.
Like,
okay.
So for me, mine was during COVID, and was yours too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't, I think it was like 2021.
Okay.
So yeah, like everybody was still wearing masks.
Yep.
I was at the retirement home. But it wasn't like full lockdown, but the way that my life was, I was working at a local farm. I didn't really get out much. My friends all left for college. My day-to-day life wasn't really affected much by COVID. I was still kind of like in my own little bubble of my family. So for me, it's like hard to put the limit on things. It'd be like, was that during COVID? I don't know, because my life didn't really change very much. But yeah, I think we were the same time.
My first official event that I actually charged, I think, $300 for. I look back and I'm like, whoa. But that was May of 2021.
Okay, yeah.
So again, it was still like you could be outdoors, all the things. Anyway, not to drag on COVID, but so when I was starting, I was still at my corporate job. So I had gone back to the Hyatt. I had gone back to my full-time career. We were remote for the most part. We were in the office here and there, but I just saw what the potential of this job could be, this business.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I really wanted to do it the way that I saw the potential of it, there's no way that I could do my full-time job, have the kids, all the things. Like, it was just, it was impossible. Like, there was no way that I could have done all of that. And I think it took guts. Like, there's no other word to put how I felt and what I was going through. I sat down with my husband and I was like, okay, this is what I make. This is what I could make if I charged this amount. And basically, we aren't going to starve, but we're not going to go out to dinners. We're not going to do this. Like, we did our bills. We did, basically the bare minimum of like, if this makes it a little bit, like, we will be okay kind of thing. And we just agreed that we were going to do it. And I don't know if I think I told you this, but I took on a part-time job at a plastic surgeon's office.
Yes.
Did I tell you this?
Yeah.
And I was basically paying to send my kids to daycare. And I was like, okay, this is stupid, basically. Yeah. So I ended up leaving that and just being home with the kids, working on the business, and basically being like, I have to figure this out because I left my job kind of thing. And I feel like that was a motivator for me because I saw the fact that I could be home with my kids, the fact that I could create something that was meaningful, and I was making an impact on other people because I was giving them a really fun event where they could actually enjoy it themselves. And that was like the whole purpose of my why when I first started, was like, I started this business because when I would host events, I wouldn't be able to enjoy, like, family parties. I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself because I was constantly walking around being like, oh, do you need a drink? Can I get you anything? Do you need something? And then they'd be like, yes. And I would be making them a drink or getting them wine from the kitchen or whatever it was. And I just like wasn't enjoying my own parties. And I was like, well, if I need this, I'm pretty sure other people are going to need it too. That's kind of how the mobile bar started. And then I just saw the comments that we were getting at events being like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I'm like, well, I know, but I'm glad that you think it's cool too, because I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then hearing comments from the clients being like, you made our event so much better because your drinks were great. The atmosphere was awesome. The vibes were there, and we got to enjoy our event.
Yeah.
So that's what kept going. It was definitely the satisfaction of people actually enjoying this product that I brought out into the world. And then it just took off from there, which I'm so grateful but I worked really hard to get it where it is today. And it's not easy. Like, if you are just starting, get your seatbelt on, because the road is bumpy. You're going to go down one-way roads that have no end to it. And you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life right now? But then the outcome, when you do find the path, is like, wow, like, I can't believe I haven't been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Are you looking to up your client experience? HoneyBook is a leading client management tool for accepting inquiries, sending invoice and contracts, and keeping all your emails in an easy and safe space. Check out their amazing tools like the expense tracker, batch email sender, and email templates to get messages to clients with ease. Make your business run faster and more efficiently with HoneyBook. Use the link in the description for 25% off your first year. That's a 1-week free trial and 25% off your first year of HoneyBook with the link below. It's the most rewarding thing that you can do is owning your own business.
Yeah, this episode is giving me goosebumps. Everything that you're saying, I'm like, oh yeah. I loved just how you started with putting yourself back in your old shoes and what you were thinking at the time and what your plan was at the time and how things just came into fruition. For me, I always loved photography. Took a class in high school, and then my parents fortunately sent me to like a little sleepaway thing when I was like 16 up in Maine that I loved. And I really, really fell in love with photography and the art of it, and connected with other kids, other girls that were interested in the same thing, because I felt like at home, I was interested in it, and the people in my class were interested in it too, but it was kind of just like an elective that they had to fill their, curriculum thing with, or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But for me to go away to this place and be with equal-minded people who are just as excited and passionate about what you are, that really lit me up, because I was like, man, these kids are so good at this and so good at that, and I love how she did this, and maybe I should do that next time. And it was just really cool to be able to be in the same room and have a professor critique my own work and tell me what he would do differently, and get different perspectives, and watch other girls and other people shoot too. There were boys there too, but it was just so fun. And when I came home, I kind of let it drop. It was like a hobby. And I mean, I was like 16 in high school, and then COVID happened. I graduated, and I was working a full-time job, and I was there for about a year, and I was like, this is just obviously not like my full-time career. I'm a waitress, and not that you can't be, because I did love it, and I love people pleasing, and I am a server. And I really loved waitressing. I really did. But it was the same people every day, because it was at a retirement home. It was in the middle of COVID, so there weren't any guests that were able to come in either. Their families couldn't come in and join them for a meal. It was really difficult. And I loved being there for them, and I loved giving people a good time and making people feel valued and listened to and heard. And just all of the things that I felt like I'd experienced in my life kind of like accumulated to this moment. Like, I did all of this theater work in high school too, and then professionally before COVID happened, where I was like a general manager, and I was, listening to the director's vision, and they were telling me, oh, we want the costumes to look like this, and we want this lighting to be like this and have this speed, and this is how the scene is going to go. And it was my job from there to make sure that all of those moving pieces happened as they were supposed to. And so I've always said that if I wasn't going to be a photographer, I would have loved being a wedding planner, I'm sure, because it just aligns with me so well. But a lot of the weddings that I'm working don't have wedding planners, or sometimes they don't. And so it's a role that kind of gets put on the photographer's shoulders to coordinate the family photos and, make sure that the bride is dressed on time and at the right place on time, because obviously she's not looking at the clock. And I need to make sure that the timeline is kept. And through that, also making sure that her vision comes into light in the end, because obviously people will remember the wedding, but it's through the photos that they get to remember the wedding. That jogs their memories. That jogs the feelings that they had, them wiping their tears with the dad's speech and the toasts and things like that. Like, those are the photos that really matter to me. Candids with grandma, like the texture of people's skin and dresses and what purses they were carrying and things like that are just, the kind of thing that I love, because those were the little detail things that I would pay attention to in theater. I would, write down all the blocking and make sure that the props were in order, and everything tells a story. And that was like the perspective that was ingrained in me through all of my art in high school that I learned. It was just that every little detail matters and has a purpose, and makes everything come together. And so that's the same with all of the wedding vendors as well. It's like, we're such a team. And I don't know, just like everything that I have loved about other areas of art, I also love in what I'm doing with my wedding photography. And so it just felt really natural once I began second shooting for people. I was like, wow, this reminds me so much of this, and I love this so much because it feels like that. And I've also been so used to like the high energy pressure of like putting on a show, or like making sure that, if there's an error, like you have to come over it and you have to come up with different solutions. And I'm doing that every day and in the wedding world too. And so everything just kind of fell into place. But for me getting started, I was able to see other photographers doing all of this through social media. God bless social media for reasons like this, because I was able to see other people doing something that I didn't know I needed, or I didn't know that I wanted to do, and that they were all relatively close to my age. That was just so empowering. And so if you're interested in, taking your side hustle further, or even beginning something, go follow other people that inspire you. Go check them out. See what they're doing, what steps they took to get to where they are, as you probably are right now by listening to this podcast episode. But just see what their lives are like and what things you like about that. Like, I love that being a small business owner, I can make a doctor's appointment whenever I feel like it. I can go get coffee with a friend whenever I feel like it. If I don't like the environment I'm in, I can take my work somewhere else. In the weekdays when I'm not shooting. And it's just very freeing to have some of those things. But I don't know, I guess to wrap everything up in a bow, if you're considering starting a small business, make sure that the thing that you're starting really lights you up and you feel like you couldn't live life without. Like, I feel like I could not live life without doing my photography. Like, that is my reason for being. And I feel like everything in your life needs to serve you a little bit, and equally you serve it too. So just having a well-balanced life just incorporates your, social life, your love life, your career, your diet, your activities, your hobbies. Like, everything needs to come together. And I feel like I wouldn't be as complete as I am right now if I were working a normal job like I used to. So it feels so good because I love what I do every day. And if you're starting a small business that doesn't make you feel that way, think a little harder.
Yes. Buckle up. I love all of that because it also made me think of, like, when I started, my back was kind of against the wall because I was, quote unquote, furloughed from my job. So I didn't know if I was going to get my job back. With that, I was like, okay, well, what do I do next? So I feel like that also transpired into, like, I always had, like, a crafting brain. Like, I always had, like, little hobbies here and there, would, like, sell things here and there, but never, like, thought I was going to start my own business. So I feel like, to the listener who is like, I want to do something, but I don't know what it is, I think you have to go and think about what you enjoy doing as a hobby, because could you make that a full-time thing? So, like, I'm not sitting here saying I enjoyed bartending, because I did. It was fun. I love the atmosphere. I loved, you're a people pleaser when you're a bartender, and I love people pleasing. Bartenders are pretty much center of attention, and I love being the center of attention. So there's that too. But I feel like it was a outlook where I could be like the life of a party, and I love planning events, but I never wanted, and I was a planner at my old job, which I did love, but I never saw myself going to, like, the event planning career. I actually helped my friend who was not Devin, because love helping her, but I helped another friend who did weddings here and there, and I was like, I like this, but I like helping someone. Like, I could not see myself doing that full time, and I could never do Devin's job full time either. But I saw myself being in the event scene in a different way, and I saw this being an outlet. I also saw, when I was at the Hyatt, I felt like my creativity was capped because you're doing things by what the corporate mandate says. Like, yes, I could have ideas on like, okay, you could do these fun. And I always enjoyed creating cocktails for them. Like the bride and groom. I was like, oh, do you want to do a fun specialty drink? And I feel like I brought the specialty drink kind of concept into weddings at the Hyatt, the one that I was at specifically. And we would like have them on the bar and we would do fun things. So like, I think I like also gravitated to that. Like I enjoyed that part of the planning, but I didn't enjoy the whole thing. So how could I take that and do it in some other form?
Yeah, I like that.
And then we had a dessert truck, which was an alcohol-infused dessert truck at our wedding. And I just saw people talking about it for months after, for years. I mean, they still talk about it. Shout out to Baked and Sauce. They're out of Norwalk. And I saw like the joy that people had with that concept. I am not a baker. I will never be a baker. Do not enjoy baking. But I do enjoy creating fun drinks for people.
Yeah.
And I like drinking drinks. So that's kind of like how I thought this could be something. So I feel like if you're thinking about starting something, you have to see what it is you enjoy doing, what you could see yourself doing for a long time, and like, does it light you up when you talk about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, if it does, why is it lighting you up when you're talking about it? So like, whatever niche that you're thinking about, is it cooking? Is it baking? Is it sewing? Is it crafting? Like, what is that niche? Is it motivational speaking? Is it coaching? Like, there's so many areas, especially with social media, that you could hone in on. And also, it's okay to try things that don't necessarily work. Like,
absolutely.
I took my content creating hobby and turned it into the mompreneur Instagram. So like my Instagram prior was crafted content. I think it was crafted content co. And I think I had like 80 followers, and I thought I was going to do content creation for businesses. Quickly realized that I didn't enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing it for myself, but I don't enjoy doing it for other people. Somewhat. We'll go down a rabbit hole about that, so I'll save it. But I tried something, realized I didn't like it, pivoted, and I was like, I like helping people. I like being motivational. I like being that person who's like, you got this, you can do it. Like, it's going to be hard, but I know that you can do it. And I'm in my mom era where I'm a mom of 2 young kids. I'm running a business. I think I'm doing a pretty decent job on both ends. Nobody's perfect by any means. Nobody is perfect. There's days where I feel like I'm a really shitty mom because I'm working on my business a lot. And there's days where I'm not working on my business because I'm a mom at home. So like, I feel like you have to just see what really lights you up and like hone in on that more. Yeah. And how can you make money off of that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the reason why we're both saying this and ingraining this so much is because there's nobody that's keeping you accountable like a boss would. So in order for you to keep showing up for your business, you need to really genuinely enjoy it, love it, be proud of it, to keep yourself accountable, because there's nobody that's going to be lighting a fire under your butt except yourself. You can watch inspiring content like this and hopefully get in the mindset of it, but there's nobody that's going to be holding your hand, helping you to do this, unless you have a business partner that, you know, you guys have different different qualities, I suppose.
I know what you're trying to say.
You know what I'm trying to say. That you have different qualities and different things that you bring to the table. In that scenario, maybe you guys can push each other, but most small businesses, I feel like, are one-man bands like we are. And now we both have teams of people that are helping us. And like we had Devin on, she talked about her team and everything. And that's fantastic. But still, you're the boss. You're the one that's sending them the timelines. You're the one that's asking them to show up. And you have to show up for yourself just as equally, because your clients or customers or whomever is counting on you. So if you're running a small business and let's say you're a candle maker and somebody buys one of your candles, you have to make them or you have to ship them. You can't just not be, you can't just not feel it. And same thing with showing up for yourself with all of the marketing stuff too. Like, you love the social media for your business because it's for your business. And same for me. Like, I would not be able to be a content creator for other people because I'm not passionate about other people's businesses unless I really am. And then a case by case basis, maybe I would be into it. But, like, the reason why I am able to show up for myself in my social media and in my marketing and in all the different areas is because I love talking about it and I love sharing my work. And it's very motivating to hear the little chime from Honeybook when a new inquiry comes in. And that's what it's for. You know,
Yes.
it's you need the gratification from yourself. And if you're doing something that doesn't make you feel gratitude or doesn't make you feel excited to wake up in the morning and get to work, then yeah, you need to find something that you love. So we both found areas in our lives that we were interested in, that we wanted to pursue a little more. Photography was a hobby of mine that I loved, and bartending for you, being the life of the party, all of these things and qualities that we noticed about ourselves, we brought into our businesses and said, okay, but how can I make this better? How can I make my life around this thing, or have this serve me and my life? And we made it work. So yeah, find something that, do a little introspective digging, find something that you're like, oh yeah, this is me. Yeah. This is what I love, and align it to something.
I also want to kind of talk about, so for me, I know our stories are different in this, but I left a very good corporate salary, and that was hard because it was, again, COVID. It was at a time where the world was crazy. Like, you didn't know what was going to happen. So for me to have the guts to leave a job that I was getting paid a bi-weekly salary, or weekly, I don't even know, I think weekly, but getting paid a monthly salary, to know that this is what I'm making, this is how much I'm going to make, these are my bills, so I can afford to do this because I know this income is coming in, to then go to a entrepreneurial life where I had no clue what income was coming in each month. You have no clue if you're getting paid the same amount each week. You literally have no clue. And someone said something the other day, and it made me really think about this. It's they used to have their own business, and now they actually went to, in the same route, but more towards a corporate environment. And he does have an income now, and he's like, with corporate, that's your salary. You know what you're getting every week, every month, whatever it is. But with entrepreneurship, if you need more money, you just work a little bit harder. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. So I feel like the flip side to this is like, yes, you don't know if you're getting a monthly paycheck or whatever it's going to be, but also you make what you put into your business.
Yeah.
So if there's times where you need more money, and I'm a true believer of this because I know that this is me. Off season, I do all these crazy odd end jobs where I'm just like content creating and starting the mompreneur events and doing all these different things, because at the time the vintage horse is not bringing in a huge income for me. But if I really needed it during my busy season of the vintage horse, I could also bring on those too. So I feel like running your own businesses, there's so many different avenues where you have the opportunity to make more money. It's just what you put into it. And that's what's hard. And those are the times where it's going to be like, can I really do this? This is a lot of work. This is hard. Yeah. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Yeah. We talk about all the amazing things that we have on the flip side of going to a coffee shop when we want to, picking up my kid, or go. I did his field day yesterday, and I was there all day or all morning, and I got to see him light up when he saw me at field day. And he's like, my mom's here, telling all of his little friends. I would not have been able to do that. Yeah. So it's like, yes, there's so many positive sides to this, but there's also really hard work behind the scenes. Yeah. I was up at 5:00 this morning, because I really just couldn't sleep, but I'm trying to have better habits of getting up early again, because I remember the busiest times in my business was when I was getting up at 5. I was pouring a cup of coffee. I was getting a workout in before the kids got up. I know, all these things. And I feel like I had an entire day before the kids even got up. Yeah. So I'm trying to do those good habits again, because, again, that's what you have to do. You have to remain positive in a really crazy environment.
Yeah. Mindset is literally everything. Your mindset is everything. And that's been my focus, because we pick a word every year and we live by our word. Last year my word was balance, and this year I'm going off that a little bit more and focusing more on I guess just I don't know. I came up with a word. I don't even remember what it was, but I came up with a word, and it was
too, and I don't remember.
It was either. Pretty much the same thing. I was not getting very creative. I guess I just wanted to focus on it even more. I could have just done balance again. But anyway, mindset is everything. And I really want to bring up Britt and Alex from Chasing Sunsets. They're a photo video husband-wife duo, and we just met last month, and I'm obsessed with them. But they were literally my idols, like starting with photography. And like I said, follow people that really light you up and that you love to follow and inspire you. They really inspired me. And so we had them on the podcast. We interviewed them a couple of years, year before. And I have to say, meeting them in person, you know, sometimes you meet your idols and you're like, ooh, I don't know. But meeting them, I was like, oh my gosh, they're crazy. So anyway, I really want to bring them up because if you don't know who they are, and even if you're not a photographer, I still recommend you follow them because they are fantastic business owners, period. Not even going to say they're great photographers because they are, but I'm going to focus right now just on them as business owners, period. And they focus a lot on their work-life balance, and they share that. And they do this like little gold star chart on their calendar where they move their body, and they make it a priority to fit things like that into their schedule, even though they're crazy busy entrepreneurs. And so it's really important to make time for yourself for those little things. Like it could just be a 30-minute jog. It could just be like making a salad every day instead of eating chicken nuggets or something that's not as good for you. Like, I don't know. A lot of it is the habits that you do, but the mindset of it as well, because you're not going to instill good habits into your life if you don't have the mindset for it or the drive for it. And, going back off what we said before about being your own boss, like there's nobody holding you accountable to do those different things and to meet your deadlines and to make sure that you're happy. But if waking up early, getting stuff done, feeling on top of it before noon makes you feel more motivated to keep going the rest of the day or the rest of the week, then you need to do that and make time for that and make that part of your routine. And that's been my focus this year, is adding things into my routine that, you know, have me turn off my entrepreneur mind and make me go to sleep a little bit. So like reading, focusing more time on friends and just me and like my personal endeavors, moving, things like that, making more of a life that I want to live, which is crazy because like I'm already living a life that I love, but I'm always thinking like, oh my gosh, but how can I make this even better? And bringing that mindset into your business is so vital, because you can't just be like, oh, it's good the way it is. Like, how can you make it even better? Because there's always little improvements that you can make as time goes on. And so I don't know if that was a tangent from what you were saying, but
100%. And I also, we talk about following people on social media and getting inspired, but I feel like social media also, again, I like to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
It also has downfalls.
Definitely.
You're looking up to these people and you're like, then you start the business. So now we've started the business already, and you're looking up to them, and your business isn't where theirs is. So now you're comparing yourself to them, and you're having the imposter syndrome and all of that. But I think you have to remember that, and I heard this somewhere, your chapter 1 is, you can't compare it to their chapter 50.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they've gone through all the things that you're already going through, just like us. Like, we've gone through all the things that you're about to go through if you're just starting your business. And we're here to tell you the outcome is amazing. And we're going into year 5, which is wild. And most businesses do not last past, what are the statistics? I think it's like year 1, I'm sure, is like a huge one. I don't know exactly what the statistics are.
I don't know, but I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, there's but something like, along those lines that it's like a number percent don't make it. Yeah.
And it's actually way lower than I thought it was. When you start talking, I'm going to look it up, so we'll go back to that. But the point I was getting at is, social media has its pros and its cons, but there's so many benefits to it. And I am a firm believer, because I actually just saw my grandmother, shout out to Grandy. I don't think she listens to this. I think I told her I had a podcast, and she's like, how do I listen to it?
That's so
I'm
cute.
Like, Spotify. What's that? But she's like my number 1 supporter. It's amazing. But she sends me Facebook videos every day. Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
You can finish though.
Okay. We'll go, because now I want to know.
Yeah. Okay. Approximately, this is from the Google AI. Sorry. Approximately 21% of businesses fail within their first year. After 5 years, about 48% have failed, and after 10 years, roughly 65 have closed. Some studies indicate that up to 70% of businesses fail within their first few years. Yeah. So only 21% fail within their first year. So 69? 79, whatever.
The last part. What was it? 70?
70% of businesses fail within their first year.
Yeah. First few years, right?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Maybe Jen should have looked it up. I can't read.
But that shows that you have to have passion in what you're doing, because it's not easy, and it's not for the weak. I will tell you that right now. Meghan and I are very strong, driven, independent women, and I'm not saying you have to be that in order to start a business, but you got to have some traits of that. You have to have traits of I'm not giving up. You have to have traits of I'm going to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a very big I will prove you wrong, and you can ask my husband. We like definitely butt heads, because he's like, he'll tell me something and I'm like, no, that's not right. And then he'll try to convince me it's right. And I'm like, no. I'm like, do you want me to show you that I'm right? We have a great relationship. But actually, this was what I was segueing into with social media. My grandma sent me something about kids playing baseball, because my kids are in the baseball season right now. And it's a lot. Like, I have to cancel other obligations because I'm going to my kids' T-ball game. We're just in T-ball. And I'm canceling things. But I am in a phase where I want to be there for them. And I know that it's not going to be here forever. I'm not going to get to see my daughter play her first season of T-ball ever again. Like, it's done in a few weeks, and like, it's done. Yeah. And this is the season of like her learning how to throw a ball, and like her learning how to hit a ball off of a tee. And like, I'm never going to get those years back again, but I'm so grateful that I know that I'm not going to get these years back again. And I'm not letting them pass by with me being like, oh my God, I'm not present.
Yeah.
And I feel like social media has helped me become more present, because they're reminding me, and you can take these in two different ways. And I have a very good friend who like hates these videos, because she's like, I don't enjoy this season of motherhood right now. I don't like them being like this age, and that's fine. There's going to be different seasons of motherhood that everyone likes or doesn't like, but I enjoy this season right now because I know that I'm not going to ever get it back. Mm-hmm. And my son's 7. He'll be 7 next month. And I'm like, when the hell did that happen? But again, I'm spiraling. The point I was getting is I saw a video on social media, and it was like, your husband and you were best friends before you had kids. Mm-hmm. And you have to remember to put time back into the ones that you are the closest with, because I feel like my husband and I right now are kind of in a season where we're just so busy, and you forget to have those date nights. You forget to have those like meaningful conversations, because I'm on a Jersey Shore binge right now. Did you watch it? I feel like you're not a Jersey Shore person.
I've seen clips of it, and it's made me really want to turn it on when I'm editing in the background. I think it would be so funny, but I'm also afraid that I'd be like so locked in I wouldn't get any work done. No, I love Snooki. I love her getting arrested on the beach in episode 1. I need to see the rest. Okay. But continue, please. Yeah, no, I love.
I feel like you have to, because very long story short, I canceled cable like, I think it's been like 2 years, if not more now. And so I haven't been able to watch it, because I don't even know where you would watch it. But we got this like new box that has everything. And I was just like flipping through, and it was Jersey Shore. And I was like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh. And Jersey Shore was like my generation. Like,
yeah.
I'm totally spiraling right now. But
no,
anyway.
I love it.
So when the kids go to bed, I'm in a season right now where I go on the couch and I literally binge watch episode and episode. And then I'm like, it's 1:00 in the morning and I'm still watching Jersey Shore. And I'm like, Jen, go to bed or go do work for your business or go do something.
But you know what? If Jersey Shore is lighting you up, then make time for it in your schedule.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Like, there's been days where like my kids come home around, like, I pick up my daughter at 3, my son comes home at 3:30, and it's like 1, and I could do so many other things. So I'm like, let me just watch one episode.
Okay, but I feel like that's totally fine and normal, because that's me, but with reading. I'll be like, okay, just one more chapter. Okay. But you don't read, so you have Jersey Shore.
Okay, but reading and actually using your brain and like...
I'm just being entertained, so as the same as you.
I don't know.
So.
All right, you're validating me right now, and I appreciate it so much.
That could be your special alone time.
I'm just saying, I am in my Jersey Shore era, season, whatever. Like, you Swifties out there, watch out. Snooki and J-Lo are the ones. But anyway, but I'm also kind of going back and forth because like I'm binge watching it and my husband is like going back and forth in the house and like he's talking to me and I can't. No, this is my time right now. This is my Jersey Shore time.
Don't interrupt me while I'm in the middle of reading. I'm in the middle of a chapter. You're taking me out of my world.
And then I feel guilty and I'm like, all right, so then I have to pause it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to pause it. Like, we're just talking. I'm like, no, I can't. I need to zone in on Jersey Shore right now. I can't, although I can multitask, I can't listen to you, be present with you, listen to this. So anyway, I'm okay. I'm almost done with all the seasons. I didn't go back to the very beginning because I did watch all of the seasons live. But I think I watched the past like 4 seasons. They're really long also. Like they're not short seasons. I think I've only seen like 1 episode all the way through so far. I've been really wanting to because I watch I know the name of his podcast, but I'm not going to say the name of it because it's a little inappropriate. But Jake Shane. I watch Jake Shane, and he loves. Anyway, he was like 12, obsessed with Jersey Shore and Snooki. Stop. And he got Snooki on his podcast, and they like had a whole thing. So after that, I was like, yeah, I need to actually get into Jersey Shore, and I just haven't. But so please, okay, we're not gonna go ahead. You're talking about your husband on Jersey Shore, but the last thing I will say about this is they made a comment in one episode, and I think it was on like they do like the just like the house moms and all or housewives. See, I never watched any of that shit, but I love Jersey Shore. But they have like a season recap. What's it called? Like where they all come together. Oh, okay, yeah. Not a finale, but whatever. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on what it is. But one of the things that they said, the interviewer was like, I think she said something along the lines of like, why do you guys feel like you're so like popular? She didn't use that word, but I'm just using it for lack of a better word. And I think it was JWoww that was like, I feel like we were relatable to our audience at a time where like they're not the Kardashians, they're not these like big celebrities that you'll never be in their shoes. They were like normal people who came on to a show that they never expected to blow up the way that they did. Yeah. But they were relatable. Like I saw another, I keep going back to social media on this. We're totally spiraling. That's so okay. I'm going to reel it back in 1 second. So I saw another video where, and I sent it to like my generations, and it was about millennials. And it was saying that when we were in college and even after, we would pregame before we even started drinking. So like now when we go out, we don't know how to have 1 glass of wine. We have a lot of glasses of wine or a lot of margaritas, and then we regret it for a very long time after, but we don't know how to just like casually go out and have 1 drink. And I feel like that's where the Jersey Shore was. Like they were relatable to the people who were in that kind of scene and era. And, you know, it was like you fight with your friends and then you make up and you're friends again. And it's just like, they were very relatable. And I feel like no other show really had that. Like, I'm not a housewife. I'm not a Kardashian. I don't know any other shows, but I feel, not saying I'm a Jersey Shore. No, but like at the time, like your college era, that makes sense. The entertainment that was available at the time, that was, and so I feel like, anyway, I spiraled so many ways on this, but I think the point I'm getting at is when you're starting a business, you still want to make time for yourself. You still want to make time for your family. You still want to make time for everything. And it's okay to watch Jersey Shore. That's where I'm coming from. I don't really know where Jersey Shore even came with this whole topic. You needed to get it out, and it's okay. I think I needed you to validate me, to tell me it's okay that I'm watching Jersey Shore. I will always hype people up. One thing about me, I will always validate you. God. But as long as you're not hurting somebody. Yeah. And you're not, because you're entertained, you're enjoyed, and you're not working, and you're turning your brain off, and that's what it's all about. But I want to go off of something that you said before we spiraled off that. And I don't know how we're going to wrap this episode up in the end. I feel like there's a lot of things we wanted to talk about that we didn't even get to, but it's still a great episode. Thank you guys for listening. You were talking about one of your motivations in your business is proving people wrong, or proving people that you can do it. For me, I don't feel the need to prove people wrong, but I just feel like I don't really give up on things unless I don't care about them. You know what I mean? Like I'll start a knitting project and be like, I'm done with this. Like I'll quit things fast.
But if it's something that I really want to get done, like I'm going to find a way to do it. And it could just be something like, I don't know. I'm not going to say something around the yard because I don't even have my own yard, but I'm going to just, I don't know, whatever. Like if there's something that I'm trying to create or like physically move or like, I don't know, I'll just like figure out a way to do it and be like, oh, this box is too heavy. I can't carry it, but I need to put it downstairs 3 flights. Like I'm still going to get it down 3 flights all by myself.
Yes.
But just you put it on a rug and you pull it down the stairs, you find a different way to do it. And so that's how I feel right now in my era of moving with my business. Cause I kind of feel like sort of day one. I kind of feel like in the same boat of you guys of like I'm starting over a little bit. I still have my portfolio and I still have my reviews and I know what I'm doing with my cameras, but at the same time I've only made like 2 friends in Alaska, vendor friends so far, which is amazing because of social media because I don't live there yet, but I'm going to be starting kind of at square one, like going to all these venues for the first time, having to fill out new documentation for me to move states. I'm going to have to be doing a ton of things that I haven't thought of or haven't had to do since day one in Connecticut. And so it's terrifying, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I've done it before. I can do it again. And I want this. And so I'm going to make it happen because I want this and I need it to happen because hopefully I'll have a mortgage and hopefully I'll have, things to pay for and hopefully I'll be there. But you know what I mean? Like I'm not worried and it's not even, it is a thought in my mind that like, oh, I can go get another job. But that's not even a thought in my mind because I'm going to be running my business because I say so and because I can and because I'm going to fight for it and because I'm going to try my best. And I'm starting now to do all of those things. Like that's another thing is that like as entrepreneurs, we're planners, like we're thinking things through all the time. And sometimes I am impulsive with some things in business, but most of the time I'm 5 steps ahead. And that's how I am right now. And so I'm worried. I'm nervous about it, but I'm mostly just excited about booking my calendar more than I am concerned. And I'm going to make it happen. And I'm going to make it happen because I say so. And because I said so, it will. And I'm going to make it happen for myself. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah.
I want to hone in on, you said the word impulsive because I am realizing, and I just thought this was how everyone did things, but I think you and I are very similar with this. I get something in my head and I'm like, it's going to happen. Exactly what you just said. But I have a very good friend who is the complete opposite. She is more, thinks of all the things that could happen, whether they're good or bad, but thinks of all the things and then it has to be perfect before it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas and that's how her brain works. And she's great at doing things like that. But me, I'm like, why don't you just do it? Like an example is she was launching a coaching program and I'm like, just launch it. And she's like, oh no, it has to be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why? And I couldn't understand why. And she couldn't understand why. And it's just very interesting that not everyone's brain works like ours does.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in between you and your friend a little bit because I came up with a business plan before even quitting my job of like where I wanted to be with my business and how I wanted to get there and all of the steps. But as soon as I wrote the business plan, I said, yeah, this sounds fire. And I quit my job instead. So like, I feel like I'm in between with like, I think things through, like I get an idea and then I'm like all about it and I obsess over it. And I'm like, I need to make this happen. But then I think everything through. And then sometimes I just throw the whole thing out the window. So I feel like I'm in between. I do align with like the impulsive thing though, because I'll think of something, be like, yes, I need that. I'm obsessed with that. I need to do that. Or I have an idea and I'm like, somebody needs to know about this, but I very rarely like hold on to it for a little while. Like I usually like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this needs to happen now. And I'm just like into it, but I think things through.
I think that
at the same time.
The second mompreneur event that I did cancel was kind of like an eye-opening thing. Like, okay, Jen, maybe sometimes you do have to plan a little bit more than just being impulsive and just doing the thing. But I'm realizing that I get a lot of these traits from my mom. My mom is someone who, when she has something on her brain, it is happening. Her name is Pam. It is happening and you cannot get in Pam's way. Like my husband now 15 years later, like knows my mom. And when he wants something done, he'll literally be like, should we have Pam do it? Like, I'm not kidding. And I feel like that is, I get that trait from her on like, I want to start this business. It happened. I wanted to add a second trailer. It happened. I wanted to build a team. It happened. I wanted to have kids. It happened. And again, that's not, I don't wish not having kids upon anyone. I know that's like a very sensitive topic, but
you wanted it, and
yeah,
you made it your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like another example is like, I always wanted a wraparound porch. Who wants that as a little kid? Like, yes, you dream of this like beautiful white picket fence house and whatever. My house has a wraparound porch. Like, I just feel like if you set your mind to something and you have it in your head and your heart, and I feel like it has to be in your heart. It has to be, especially running a business. You can do anything that you set your mind to.
Oh my gosh.
I'm also a big believer is if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've said that so many times. And it's not like I can do it better. That's not the mindset that I have at all. But it's, okay, they made it happen. And I'm going to say she because a lot of my idols that we talked about, like this one mobile bar, she's out of Florida. She's the Tipsy Trotter. She was my idol. And like, we're friends now. And we mess each other back and forth. And she's answered questions from me before. And she was definitely an inspiration to me. And I'm like, well, she can do it. She has 2 kids. I think she has 3 now. She has a family. Like I think she has 4 trailers, which is badass. And she does it all by herself. All by herself.
Wow.
I mean, she has a team, obviously, but like she's very similar to you. Like my husband has a full-time job. He does not help me with this business at all. He helps me in so many other areas of my life, but he does not help me in the business. And I'm also a person which I feel like I want to preference, maybe this isn't the best trait to have, but I am someone who feels like I have to do everything myself.
Yeah. I feel like every entrepreneur experiences that to at least an extent.
Yes.
But
and one of my bartenders, Janelle, is an absolute rock star. And this is her first year of her asking me, can I do this? Can I help? Can I help? And I was like, no, I got it. I got it. And finally, I'm allowing her to help me. And now, and again, I'm seeing the fruits of all of this come to fruition. Now she wants to start things. And I was like, okay, an example is she wants to do alcohol-infused popsicles.
I remember.
And she has so many amazing ideas. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be your thing. Like, yes, I'm adding it to my business, but it is your thing. You're getting the revenue from it. Like, this is you, and I want you to do this, and I want to see her shine. And if I didn't allow her to help me, I never would have allowed her to be able to do this.
Yeah, and that could be a selling point for somebody who's considering your bar over another.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because of her.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't have the time, patience, or the passion to do that, but she knows that it's going to be great for the vintage horse.
Yeah.
And she's wanted to start her own business for so long. And I'm like, great, this is a gateway for you to start your own business.
Yeah.
And she just wants to help me. And I'm just blessed that I am allowing her to help me.
Yeah.
And I'm getting out of the mindset of I can do it all myself, because you can't.
Your comfort zone.
The next episode, we are going to talk about delegate, because that was going to be our topic this week. And
I chickened out.
But this was a better topic. We spiraled about Jersey Shore, 100 and other things. But I feel like this was a great topic because new business owners need to know that you're not alone in all the struggles that you feel. It's not going to be easy. Nobody warned me. I feel like they did, and I just didn't listen, maybe, about how hard it was going to be. I don't know. Do you feel like you were like in the mindset of it was going to be really hard? I don't know. I feel like I wasn't.
That's such a tough question, because yes and no. And I think equally 50-50 yes and no. Because yes, you see the reels and the TikToks that are like, oh, I dropped my 9 to 5 so I can work 24/7. And things like that did scare me in the beginning. But at the same time, that's what I wanted. Yeah. Like, I was scared of it, but I was equally like, I want that. Like, I want to be going through the hard things. I just wanted to experience it so bad. And that might have just been like the stage of life that I was in recently out of high school, just excited to get into life and just be out of like the, little kid routine. Like, I just really wanted to live my life and make my own decisions. And so I think that was probably part of it, of why I wasn't really so scared, because I was like, I've been dying to like just be an adult and do my thing, and just was so ready for it, if that makes sense. But at the same time was just really scared that I wasn't going to make it. I feel like that was my fear, was that I was going to put all this time and energy into it. I was going to try really hard, be really invested in it, like want it to work, but have it not pay off or have something not work out. That was more of what my fears were than of being just scared of it in general. I was just scared that it was going to fail. That was my fear. And I think that that is like a great fear to have. I feel like every entrepreneur probably has that fear, is that it's going to fail or something's going to happen, because you know, how else do you keep yourself on the line?
Yeah. And it's uncertainty, and it's, that's entrepreneurship as a whole. But it goes back to the very beginning. You have to have the strongest why. And I know that sounds very repetitive. And if you listen to motivational speeches and motivational things, it always goes back to a why. But if you don't have a why, like, why are you getting up in the morning?
Yeah.
Why are you working so hard? Why are you staying up till 12 o'clock working on proposals?
Yeah. There's so many wedding vendors that I feel like I meet that don't care about what they're doing, and they're just in it for the money. They don't actually have the drive and the passion for what they're doing. And it's so disappointing. It's like you dropped your 9 to 5 to do something that you equally don't like. And, you know, it's just sad. And those are typically the brides that get let down with like, oh, my photos were 6 months late, or like, you know, have those bad experiences. And in order to be a small business owner, you're going to give somebody a great experience if you care and if you have a great why, and if you love what you're doing. And continue.
No, it's so true. And I feel like you just, back to the beginning, you have to be passionate about it. You have to want to see yourself succeed. And your why is going to change. Mine has changed so many times. My first why was I want more quality time with my kids. My second why was I don't want to commute 3 hours a day to a job. My next, you know, it changes. But like now my why is I will never go back to working for someone else. And I don't know if that's going to change again. Like maybe I will one day. But right now I am working so hard to never have to go back to an office setting. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I can. Like, I don't know if I can listen to someone again. I'm being truly transparent. Like, I don't know if I can walk into an office and have a boss be like, your lunch is at 12. You can't go to your kid's t-ball game. You can't leave early. Like, I don't think I could do that anymore.
I think we could, because I feel the same way. I'm like, I've had this liquid taste of freedom that I'm like, oh my God, it would just hurt me to not be able to have that anymore. But I am a follower. Like, I'm a real follower. And like, I'll if somebody asks me to do something, I'm a people pleaser, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But it would make me really depressed. Like, if I went back to some kind of 9 to 5 office setting with a boss at a regular paycheck, and I felt like my time was kind of worthless, it would just make me really depressed. Like, I feel like I could do it, but it wouldn't make me happy. Like, I don't think you would get fired. Like, I don't think you wouldn't be able to do it. Like, you would do it, but I think it would make us both really sad.
That's why my why is so strong of why I'm going to make this business even more successful, because I will not go back to an office. But also, to kind of wrap this in a bow, because I think this is over an hour already.
Probably.
We've just been ranting today. But I think I lost my train of thought because I got so excited.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
About this episode. What were we saying?
Just about not going back to corporate.
Yeah.
And you're making your business even more successful than it was the day before. And that just needs to be the motivator. Yeah. Like, there's so many motivators. Like, I love my photography. I love the experience. I love getting the good feedback from people. I love making visual heirlooms that people keep forever, like everything about it. But at the same time, I love it for me, because it serves me, and it will serve me forever. Like, no matter what you want to do in life, like if I want to have kids later, if I don't, if I want to travel full time or I want to stay local, like I can do pretty much anything I want with this job, and that just sends me off the edge. I just love it so much.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Got it.
If you could change one thing that you would do differently from starting, what would it be?
Right.
Like when you first started your business and you're knee deep in, like, let's say your first wedding. So let's go, someone booked you, and I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving you the good opening right here.
No, you are. I'm just thinking because Because even the bad experiences you have are just as valuable as the good ones that you have. So even when I've made a mistake in the past, I feel like I've learned more from the mistakes I've made than the ones that didn't have any errors.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I like nothing comes to mind of something that I would do differently. Like I did everything relatively early on, made my LLC early, separated my business bank accounts. Even from the first cent I made from my business, I didn't make it separate at the time, but I wrote it down. Like I like kept track of things, and I feel like that's probably, if I were to say I did do that, but I would give that as my advice, is like, if you were to start your business today, like treat it as a business, even if it's just a side hustle, like, because it will grow. If you want it to grow, it will grow. And so don't use it as a side hustle mentality. Think of it as a business from day one. Separate your finances, or at least track them separately. Your mileage, like all of the things. We have an episode about creating an LLC, at least in the state of Connecticut. Give that a listen. And even if you're not going to do that today, write down all of the things that we say, and maybe you're going to do it in a couple of months or next year. But if you're in the mindset of, oh, I have a business, even if it's just, a couple $100 so far, like that mentality will keep you going, I think. So that would be, to answer your question, I guess, my advice.
I totally agree with that. So it's funny because now I thought of something that I would give people advice for. So I would say, like, it's okay to be messy in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I created a website that was my own website. Like, I used Wix. I did the templates. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just a website where somebody could find me. It was a www. whatever. And also, okay, here's something I would do differently, and I regret doing this so much. I put my business out and did not create my GoDaddy website. Do you remember this story?
Oh, yes, I do. You didn't make the domain.
My website is thevintagehorses.com, because the Vintage Horse was available, and I put my business out. I did all these things, and my husband's aunt sent me a text and was like, you don't have your domain. Like, the Vintage Horse is available. It was $1.99, $1.99. So it was $2. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to be a thing. Like, I don't know. Well, lo and behold, 1 month later, I went to go buy it, and it was $3,500 to buy vintagehorse.com. So someone bought it because this is what businesses, or this is what, I don't know, scammers do.
Yeah.
They'll buy it, so then you have to buy it from them.
Yeah.
And that's what somebody did. So get your domain. That is like the number one thing I could give you advice for, because yes, the Vintage Horses is fine, because it kind of, my mindset was like, we will have multiple trailers. I always thought that in the very beginning. So I was like, okay, so the Vintage Horses, because there's multiple of us. But I would love to have the vintagehorse.com, but it is what it is. And then the second thing is, it's okay to show up messy in the beginning. Like, just do it. Like, just
perfect things later.
Yes. And like, my website still isn't perfect, in my opinion, 5 years later. Like, it's still, people are like, oh my God, I love your website. I love your social media. I love this. But to me, I can always do better.
Yeah.
You're always going to think that you can do better. And that's a good mindset to also have.
Yeah.
Because we talk about this all the time. Like, I feel like that is why we are successful, because we always have the mentality of like, okay, well, I could do this better. I could do this better. Maybe it's a negative mindset.
No, I think it's good, because there's always something that you can learn. And I feel like to not be humble is the bad thing. To think that you're top dog and you couldn't do it possibly any better than it was. There's always room for improvement. And I feel the same way with my photography and my videos. Like, I'll see somebody post an incredible wedding video and say, wow, they're 10 times better than me. How can I bring some of the things that they did into my videos and like them even more? All the time I'm kind of thinking that way. And so if I had waited, because my initial plan was to wait to offer wedding videos, if I had waited how long I was thinking to wait, in my mind, it was like a 5-year plan kind of thing. But it happened way earlier because I got an opportunity for it, and who might have turned out a good opportunity. And so I offered it for like, I think, same with what you said, with your first booking with the trailer. I think I charged them like $500, and it was not bad, but technical wise, it was not filmed well. But I was still, really proud of it. And honestly, for my first wedding video, still pretty not terrible, but there's always room for improvement. And I started that messy. I started that not knowing everything I should have known, not having good microphones. Like, I started it kind of messy, but that's why I offered it in a very affordable way and worked myself up, kept offering it cheap. And then as I got new equipment, raised my prices. As I learned something new, raised my prices. As I just now attended a workshop, probably will raise my prices because I learned some really valuable things there. And so, just stay humble and always be introspective of what can I do better? Is this as good as I want it to be? Am I happy? What can I change? I think that's a really good thing to do from day one and, year 5.
Oh, I love stay humble.
Stay humble.
I love that. And I think you and I will always be humble people. I don't know. I don't have that, like, I'm better than anyone mentality, and you definitely do not either. And I think that's so important because I think people feed off of that and they see it. Like, I've definitely worked with other vendors who have that mentality. And I'm like, I never want to work with you again.
Yeah, you're about to make me tear up because that's like, okay, I'm like a little bit of an anxious person, and I'm always like thinking that people think that I think I'm the shit.
Stop.
Like, I always think that people are gonna think that I think I'm too good.
Really?
Yeah, that's like
remember what happened with me when I had like 10,000 followers? I was like, I don't think people are going to book me anymore because I have all these followers.
Yeah.
And they are going to think that I'm too good for them, which is stupid. Don't think that. Now I'm almost at 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you want me. I don't have that mentality. Like, I will never think that. Like, oh, I'm better than anyone else. Like, that's just not who I am. And it is not who you are at all. At all. And you don't ever come off. I mean, I'm not with you at the weddings, but, I mean, we worked on weddings together. One?
I think just one. We need to do another one before I leave, though. What the heck?
I feel like we had another one, or I don't know.
We've done a lot of events together, but I think just one real wedding. I think.
Well, you were definitely not acting like the shit there. You were an authentic, amazing photographer.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
It's how we get in our own heads about everything.
Yeah.
So, but that was good that you put that out there, thinking that, because your feelings are valid. And
thank you.
I'm validating that you do not act like the shit.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, if you know Meghan, she's like the sweetest human in the entire world.
Can we talk about Jersey Shore again? I don't want to do this.
Well, I'm about to go home and binge it. Actually, no, I have so much work to do because I'm not going home to binge that. But this is a fun episode. We are going to wrap it up because we could just talk all day. We haven't been together in a very long time. So thanks for staying with us today. We have a lot of exciting things coming up. We have a list of guests who want to be on our podcast.
Yeah.
I'm so honored. If you want to be on the podcast, let us know. We are actually we're like going to sit down and go over like when we're going to have everybody on.
I know, I feel so bad. We've like been so slow to respond to some people because every like interview guest like pitch that we get from, we're like, oh yes, 100%, and then we never schedule them. We just forget because like Jen was away. I did a solo episode. Next week I'm gonna be away. You're probably gonna do a solo episode. It's just I feel like these days we're rarely together, and so the times that we are, we just want to reconnect with each other. But we do need to squeeze some of these guys in because they're incredible people and business owners, and I'm just so excited. And we just need to sit down and write it down on a list.
All right, we are gonna wrap up today. And thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being with us. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Cheers.